All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. All right, this lesson is going to be about the law on usury. All right, and because I heard I was listening to the apostles, you know, the elder apostles, and Apostle Tahar, he had made mention uh, usury, and so I just decided to deep, look it up, look up, the Levitical laws, in Deuteronomy, Exodus, Deuteronomy, and Leviticus, and I did like a word search. I typed in usury, KJV, different scriptures popped up, and I got them. And yeah, so without further ado, I want to start off by reading this. This is 1 Timothy 6 and 6, because Lord willing, I want to change brothers' perception on, money, wealth, how to use money, because, Esau's school system, they didn't teach us shit about, money or how to use it, and, they basically told us, like, yeah, it gave us a fucked up perception on money and how to use it, you know. It didn't teach us much about credit scores, interest rates, loans, debt, leveraging debt, all that, and so on and so forth, and a relationship with money. But this is 1 Timothy 6 and 6. It says, "But godliness with contentment is great gain." All right, and key word to focus on is contentment. Because if you're not content, then you'll never learn how to appreciate like wealth, like good, like nice things. If you don't know how to be grateful for the things that you have, no matter how much you have or how little you have, you'll never appreciate having better things. So godliness with contentment is great gain. And godliness, of course, is being righteous. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. So, yeah, think about it that way sometimes. Is, hey, look, man, obtaining everything is worthless on this side. We're not in the kingdom of heaven, so there's really no point in trying to build an empire. So just be content with what you have. And it says, in having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Yeah, again, the word content. You got clothes on your back, you got food in your pantry, gas in your truck, you're good. Think not about the worries about tomorrow. You got your daily needs to survive for the day and sleep through the night, you're good, man. And if you lack any of that, pray, or tough it out, man. And then verse 9, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. See, and that's the thing about obtaining money and not being content with it, is because you're always going to desire more, and with it you're going to spend that money on your temptations or hurtful lust, foolish things, like the story of the prodigal son. He wanted his father's inheritance then, and then he spent it all. I think it was like gambling and on women, so on and so forth. It says, which drown men in destruction and perdition. So there you had it. They buy into their own addictions. What do they call vices? Let's look up that word vice. Meaning. Yeah, immoral, wicked behavior. Yeah, criminal activities involving prostitution, pornography, or drugs, and immoral or wicked personal characteristics. So yeah, they they spend it for their own vices. Um, Verse 9 it says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." And then, I just want to make it clear that there's a difference between uh, greed and desire, because there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting, better for yourself, you know, but the problem relies in having a greed for it, you know, because we can go into the this Greek word for love of money. Um, they switch it up. Let me go into the root word. Yeah, covetous. That's desiring someone else's things. So it's synonymous with coveting it. Um, yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. Is there's a difference between having a coveting after riches and just wanting it for different reasons. For a better situation, or to be generous. Give it to a brother. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's when you're willing to, if you're coveting after it, then you're willing to sell out your morals to obtain it. That's where the problem relies. And then also, this is Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. It says, "For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. The but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it." So like it started really bad. I just had to cuss and start over. I'm gonna read it again. "For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it." So, right here, money is a defense. What that means is, that's also where you get the word wealth from. Wealth and health, they're similar. Um, Health is whenever, you eat the right foods and you're staying active to, better your body health. And if you lack anything in your diet or in exercise, that's when your body starts turning against you. So one of our necessities, for example, for health is water. And if we go too long without it, that's when our health decreases. So health, food is a defense. You got to keep your body fueled to obtain health. And with wealth, it's similar. You know, it's a defense. If you have more money going out than in, then you're getting poor. But if you have an income and you have more money coming in than out, you're setting up. It's a defense. You keep those bills at bay. And there's two types of income. You have passive income, and then you have income that you work for, and that's kind of what usury is going into, is passive income. Using money as lending money out, and receiving a profit uh, after a while. And there's different ways you can perform usury, or but interest is the most common way, which is you take a percentage of however much money you give out and increase it by however much percentage that is. And then there's compound interest and yada yada yada. If you want to research into that on your own time, cool. But I just want to focus on what the law says about it. This is Deuteronomy 23 and 19. And this is like the main thing that you should understand. And it says, "Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury." So, whether it be an amount of money, gold, silver, whatever, or if you're lending, food to them, or, a tool, resources, whatever, you're not to, you're supposed to do it with charity, and, expect that exact amount, however much it's worth, back, whenever he can pay it. Or if the Jubilee year, every 7 years passes and he's not able to pass it, pay it back, then you're supposed to forget about it. But you're not supposed to receive anything above, what that's worth, you know. But verse 20, it says, "Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy power may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand to, in the land whither thou goest to possess it." So, unto a stranger, a heathen nation, you can lend upon usury. You can charge them interest. You can charge them. You can, do those things where if you, let's say you buy a plot of land for, I'm gonna give a dollar value for $10,000, and let's say you want to divide it up into 4 parts, and charge $2,500 for each, for a flat rate. So you can divide it up in 4, sell it to 4 different, Israelites. You'd have to do it for however much that's worth, but you can divide it up to 4 parts and increase the value. Let's say 3,000 for each, like, divided up plot. So then you get that's like a 10% return. Is that right? No, it's a 20% return. So you'll get 2,000 back after you sell it off. You flip it. That's one way of usury. Another way is you can lend out money to a heathen and say, "Look, man, just give me $20 a week until you can pay off the whole debt in full." So let's say you can lend somebody $500 and say, "Just give me $20 until you can, give me $500 straight up." And then if they want to make payments, that's when you give them, charge them interest. There's different creative ways to use usury, but the most important thing to take from it is you're not to do it with a fellow Israelite, especially brothers in faith. But then, other laws on lending money. This is Exodus 22 and 25. It says, "If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer. Neither shalt thou lay upon him usury." So again, you're not supposed to, leverage your money against them. Basically oppressing them. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. And a pledge is what's the word that we use? Collateral. So if you let somebody borrow something that has a high value, you usually ask something in return, for high value, and until they can either pay it off or bring it back. Like sometimes if you go to a bar, and you open up a tab, they'll say, "All right, give me your car keys or your ID." So you can't really leave, without in order to leave, you need your keys, and then you'll have to pay out your tab. So that would be kind of like a pledge, or collateral. Or one thing, I know somebody that bought a truck, and he didn't have enough